Hello and welcome to the Roy Rogers News Channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I would like to give a little piece of advice for this event coverage. If you have access to a special location, then I advise for you to hatch at that location. So you can say to people, hey, I've been there before. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and try to hatch up something over at the Newmoon Island. Now before we do that, we got to figure out what Pokemon we want to do. Now, I think that Axew is a pretty special Pokemon, and with that in mind, let's go ahead and try to get a base breed for us, shall we? Alrighty folks, I am back here, and as you can see here, we have a female Haxorus. It is 31 attack and 31 special defense. However, it doesn't have the right nature, and we need to work on it a little bit. So, let's go ahead and try to juice up this Haxorus, and once we hatch an Axew over at the Newmoon Island, then you'll be able to see how much funds that I had to spend in terms of the event coverage. Now, a little piece of advice I would like to give you all is this. So, during the event season, I know there's a lot of people out there that want to sell a bunch of Pokemon, a bunch of breeders and the like, because a lot of people are into the new vanities and the like, so this is a great time to breed up certain mons, because you could be able to take advantage of the fact that people want their new vanities, or people are trying to fight the pumpkins, or trying to buy resources for that, and they're selling a bunch of breeders. So let's go ahead and try to get ourselves some breeders here for the Haxorus here. Now, we want to do adamant. One thing I would like to note is before you do any breeding, check and see what the egg moves are. Now, I mentioned this in the membership video, I'll mention this here. As a brief public service announcement, Night Slash is a TM in Pokemon Legends ZA, and the PokeMMO developers have a tendency to let us inherit the new TMs or new mechanics of the like in the new generation. So, with that in mind, I would highly advise for you not to worry about Night Slash for now, because coming up in a few updates, there's a good chance that you could be able to have Night Slash be learned via TM. So, just wanted to let you know about that. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to find out between Monster and Dragon which egg group is cheaper. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. I think... Oh, okay. That's why you want to shop around, because you never know. With Monster, there you go. You got your Cubone there. There we go. Alright. Now that makes sense, considering the fact that Cubone is one of the swarms in this event at the time of this taping. And at this point, what we can do is we'll be able to let Haxorus hold a Power Bracer. In fact, let's go and buy that real quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and buy some Everstones too, so I'll do that in a moment. Before we do that, I want to make sure you see what I'm doing here. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some mons here. We got attack and special defense. Now typically what I like to do is I like to take a look and see. Alright, so we got 2 there. Now, you keep flipping up here. One of the things you want to do, especially if you're breeding a pure attacker, is make the special attack stat 30. Not 31, 30. So that way it doesn't flag in your search, and you'll be able to have an easier time in terms of seeing where those 31s land. So, as soon as we go here, we should be able to get a hit pretty soon. Alright, there we go. You know, let's go and try to find a particle. Alright, there we go. There's defense. Alright. So now, we'll just get defense in there. I have a question. Can we be able to get a particle? The short answer is probably no. Right? I don't think so. Unless we do this. And we let Ekans be a breeder there, so there we go. Let's see if we can be able to have something flag here. Alright. Oh. Yeah, look, we can have a particle, but that's going to mean that Ekans is going to have to be in the extra breeder box. That's no problem. We can go ahead and hold on to this in case we need it for a breed. In fact, I'll name it 3x31. That's what I do with my breeding rejects. So, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the power anklet. There we go. Alright. I'll deposit the Eakins and I'll be back with you in a moment. Alrighty folks, I am back. Let's go and commence with the GTL, shall we? So let's see, what else can we be able to buy? If we could be able to have 31 attack, 31 special defense, and 31 speed. We have male, and the egg group, the monster. There we go. Let's see if we can get a hit. Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta put the 30 in special attack there. Okay. Let's see if we can get a hit. Yes, we can. Okay, so we got the Cubone there. 270. Remember that number. 270. Let's go ahead and see if we can be able to find a better price with Dragon. Let's see, can we find a better price? Always be open to finding a better price. Yes, we can. 197. There we go. And now at this point, go right ahead. It's good you having two egg groups. So you can juggle between one and the other. 380. Let's go and compare it to the other one. Oh yeah, I'm doing the 380 any day of the week. Yeah, let's go and do 380. Alright, so now at this point we gotta do the proper braces. Alright, let's go ahead and give the power belt over to Swablu. And then we have the power weight over Swablu as well. So let's go ahead and give the power weight over there. Perfect. Alright, so now at this point we're going to go ahead and hand over the parents over to the daycare man. So let's go ahead and give the Haxorus and the Cubone together. There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and do female. And we got Adamant there. Perfect. Yep. Alright. Now I'll be back with you once Axew hatches. Alrighty folks, I am back and we have the Axew and the PC. I got it off camera. So let's go ahead and breed it together with the Eakins, and thus we'll let the Axew inherit the particle. So let's go ahead and give the Axew the particle. In fact, I'll go ahead and flag it in the PC here. And then we're going to go ahead and let it have an Everstone so it'll inherit the nature. And then we'll do female, and the nature will be adamant at the end of this breed, and we'll give it the Pokeball there. We'll say yes. There we go. And I'll be back with you shortly. Alrighty folks, I am back, and off camera I went ahead and put Axew in the PC, and now let's go and talk to the daycare man. And we'll go ahead and go to the PC, and we're going to go ahead and take Axew, put it in breeding slot number 1. We're going to go ahead and take this Swablu, put it in breeding slot number 2, go ahead and make that female, and then we're going to go ahead and give it the Everstone there, and then we're going to go right ahead and let the egg hatch there. Now before we go to break, I would like to buy one Everstone, if you don't mind me doing that, because we do need one more Everstone to be able to carry over the adamant nature over to Axew. So, yeah, and with that, I'll be right back with you, and once the Axew hatches, then I'll meet you over here in the daycare. So, I'll be back in a moment. Alrighty folks, I am back, and we have the Axew right here in the egg incubator. Let's go ahead and put that in the PC. And we're going to go ahead and talk with the daycare man. And this time, we don't really care what gender the Axew is, because this is our final breed. So let's go ahead and deposit that in the breed there, and let's go ahead and Everstone there. Perfect. This is all 5x31. Make sure to double check before you send over the parents. So there you go, 5x31, particle, and nature. Okay, now let's go ahead and finalize it with the luxury ball, and then we'll teleport over to Newmoon Island, which, by the way, you can only access after you defeat all the raids that are not named Darkrai. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the bag. Let's go and get the Dream Sphere. Let's go and use that. Yes, we want to keep looking because we want to hatch a Pokemon there. So there we go. So now we go to hatch a Pokemon over at Newmoon Island. And I'll be back with you shortly. And the hatch location should say Newmoon Island. Alrighty, folks, I am back and we have the Axew. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you the summary here. And we have it hatched over at Newmoon Island. There we go. And we have the IVs, 5x31. There's a moveset there. Now, I would like to note something, that Axew has access to its hidden ability, which is Unnerve, but I don't want Unnerve, I want Mold Breaker. And with that, we can go inside Daycare and we can get an ability pill. So let's go ahead and buy that real quick. So, got the pill. Let's go ahead and feed it over to Axew, and we should be good to go. So, Axew, Mold Breaker. Yep, alright, there we go. And Axew now has the Mold Breaker ability. And now, I gotta show you the expenses that I've had to pay for this Axew. So, let me go ahead and go to the global trade link real quick. So, we go to the trade log. And now, as you can see there, I went ahead and I bought quite a bit of some Mons there. So, there we go. I hope that this helps you out in terms of your breeding expenses. And the thing about the breeding expenses is that it tends to be a little cheaper in the events. So, as I mentioned before, you might want to breed when the event season is on, because people are selling their breeders for discount prices, and so have a little bit of a financial reservoir, especially for the upcoming events on PokeMMO, so that way you can be able to take advantage of the fact that you could be able to breed up some Mons, and you could be able to hatch Mons on the cheap. So hopefully this helps you out in terms of your ventures here on PokeMMO. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is the Roy Rogers News Channel. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to our channel, like it's not easy here. And this is Roy Rogers News Channel signing off. Fast goodbyes for Roy Rogers News.